All right, folks, I am back with another video lesson, Chapter 1, Lesson 5, Lesson 1.5 on graphing ratio tables. So, as the name implies, you're going to take those ratio tables that we discussed in practice in Lesson 4, and you're going to be putting them on a graph. So, a little bit of review, hopefully this is a review, of ordered pairs and how you start graphing things. So, ordered pairs are what we call the numbers that go on the graph, right? They're written a little bit like this. So the first number goes on the x-axis, and the second number goes along the y-axis. The x always is written before the y, and they're always written in parentheses. So the number on the x is always written first, and the number on the y-axis always goes second. So take a look and pause this video, of course, at any time to get caught up on the notes. So label the axis and graph the ordered pairs 2, 5, and 5, 2. So first we're going to label the axis. This one that runs, let's do this one first. This one that runs horizontally is the x-axis. The one that runs horizontally is the y-axis. And then we're going to be asked to label, to graph the ordered pair. So let's take care of this one first. 2, 5. So 2 along the x-axis, we go over 2, over 2 to the x-axis, and then we go up 5. So this is written pretty teeny tiny, but it's going to be right there. And sometimes they'll ask you to put a letter next to the dot, or sometimes they'll ask you to put the numbers next to the dot, or sometimes they just ask you to put the dot. So in this case, I'm going to put that there so it's clear. So x went first, we go over to the 2, and then up 5. Okay. 5, let's do the reverse, 5 and 2. So we're going to start here at 0, 0. This is called the origin also. By the way, we're going to go over to the 5 and then go up 2. We had 5 and then 2. So over and up. Over and up. If you remember over and up, you'll never get these reversed because we go over and then we go up. First number is first. Okay, so that's a little bit of a review on how to graph. Now we're going to look at the ratio tables and put those on a graph. So our example here, make sure I'm still focused. Yep. Our example here says George has a photo, it should say photo album, with 4 photos per 2 pages. Complete the table and graph the ordered pairs. All right, so you'll notice that the ratio table is written pages and photos here. So you need to do the same thing, right? So before we do anything, let's go ahead and complete the graph. We have 2 pages to start with. I'm sorry, complete the table, not the graph. We have 2 pages for 4 photos. All right. Let's leave it there for now. The number on the top of the table is always going to be on the x-axis. The number on the bottom of the ratio table is always going to be the y-axis. We could also write a ratio table vertically. You don't see it very often, but it could be written like that. And in this case, the first one would be the x and the second one would be the y. Most of the time, you're going to see them written this way. Okay, so we have 2 and 4. Now we don't want to choose too big of numbers. So when we scale this up, we want to choose ones that'll fit on the graph, right? Because I could multiply both of these times 100 and get 200 and 400. That would be an equivalent ratio. But let's try to keep it small. Let's do 2 times 2. Actually, let's go 2, 3, 4. We know how many photos he has if he has 2 pages. How many does he have if he has 3 pages? Well, that would be 2 times 2 gets you to 4, so 3 times 2 gets you to 6. And then we're multiplying times 2, so 4 times 2 equals 8. You could also choose numbers that you can work this way. We could have done 2 times 2 is 4, and then 4 times 2 is 8. Doesn't matter. They're all equivalent. Right? It's the same ratio equivalency. All right, so our ratio table is taken care of. We've created it from our word problem. Now we're going to go over here and label and complete the graph. So along the x-axis, we're going to label pages, right? Because that's where we're going to mark the pages. Along the y-axis, we've got the photos. I like to turn it sideways so I can write it right there. And then you're going to need to write down the numbers that fit in there. So the tricky thing here is to make sure you have enough space. So I have plenty of space if I do 1, 2, 3, 4 right here, don't I? And do I have enough space to go up to 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I sure do. So you want to number these. You don't have to number. Oops. If it gets too crowded, you can always number every other one. There we go, so adjusted. And then over here, I'm going to just label every other one. That's 1. Get out of the way. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I do that just so it's not super crowded over here. See how crowded that is? And the 1, 3, 5, and 7 are still there, but we're just not labeling them. Okay, so now that we have this set up, we also need to put a title. George's photo albums. George's photo albums. Every graph needs labels on the side, needs numbers on the sides, and needs a title so the user knows what they're looking at. Now we pop the numbers in there. On the x-axis, it's a 2 and a 4. So we go over 2 and up 4. And with 3 pages, we get 6. So over 3, up 6. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we could make sure I'm correct. And then on this one, it's 4 and 8. So 4 and 8. So these numbers right here, you guys don't have to write this down, but could also be written like that. Yes? 2 and 4. 2 and 4. 2 and 4. Okay? Now, on these, most of the time, you're going to want to draw a line between them. This line will extend forever because if we wanted to, we could make a really, really big graph that has George's photo album having 1,000 pages. And how many photos would that be? And it would just be along this line way, way, way the heck up there. When you draw your line, if it doesn't go in a straight line, you did something wrong. You did something wrong with the math over here. This is going up in a straight line because these are equivalent ratios. Alrighty, so I hope that gives you a little bit of information about graphing ratio tables. Go ahead and complete the summary, not a reflection on how well you know this, but summarize how to graph ratio tables in as few words as possible. All right, I will see you soon.